everyone, Backyard Farmer Pat here. Today we're going to talk about seeds I'm starting in March. Not just seeds, but I'm also going to go through some additional things that I planted in March. And we're going to touch on some of those survival foods that I mentioned in my last video, where I talked about trees and plants to plant once and eat forever, or plant once and eat within a year. We're going to touch on some of those. But first, before we start, let me show you how the seeds that I started in February, how those are doing. So I brought in, this is the tray that I planted my seeds in. At first, before I go any further, I must say I love these trays. They did extremely well. So as you notice, there are some missing. The marigolds, not only did they pop up extremely well within like 3 days, they're already planted out in the garden. As a matter of fact, I planted some around my chicken coop because marigolds are actually excellent for chickens. Also, my sweet corn, it said 7 to 12 days to germinate, but they germinated in only 3 days. So within a week, I had to put them out in the garden. That's why they're already out, and they are growing very well. And my gungo peas, these are actually gungo peas that I planted from my friend Tony. She sent me a few pods of dried peas, and those took off extremely well. To let you know how good these did, this is 3 weeks, right? And you can see how tall they are. These are more than ready to go into the garden. And this one was planted back in January, the same gungo peas, but this is one that I planted it back in January in this pot, and it took 2 months for it to get to this big. So definitely I would say that these trays are a hit, and the soil I used are a hit. If you missed the info on the trays, go back and watch seeds I'm planted in February, and you'll see all the details. Also, my bush babies, one came up. That was a little bit disappointing, but it's okay. That one watermelon vine will give me more than enough watermelons to eat. Also, nasturtiums, only one nasturtium came up so far, and it doesn't look that healthy. So I'm not quite sure what happened with the nasturtium seeds and the chives. Hasn't come up yet, and neither has a blue butterfly, which is very disappointing. I was really looking forward to the blue butterfly peas. They have the most spectacular flowers, and I was really looking forward to that, but I'm not giving up. I may just sow a few more seeds in these trays this month to see if they do any better. My cachucha peppers, a couple came up, so that's great. As a matter of fact, the cachucha pepper seeds and the scotch bonnet and the purple scotch bonnet seeds that I planted back in January, all of them came up. And they were very, very slow, but they eventually came up, and those are also planted into the garden. So all in all, I would say we did pretty well. Now let's talk about seeds I am starting in March, and not just seeds, but some of those survival foods. So we're not gonna do any sweet corn. I already have 12 that I planted out, and you know what? Let me show you real quick the ones that I planted out from the seeds I started a few weeks ago. Let's go check those out. All right, so here are the corn I started just 2 weeks ago from seed, and I planted these out exactly 1 week ago. And you can see how the corn is growing well. As a matter of fact, I only planted out 7 corns, so 1, 2, 3, and then these 4, and then these 4 here, and that one I actually put a kernel of corn in. So you can see these are 1 week old, these are 2 weeks old, and you can see the ones in the middle have almost caught up. So I would say this is definitely a hit. Oh, as a matter of fact, there's one thing I forgot. So in the corn video, I planted a few, I think one regular Irish potato there, one here. And look at this, guys. Look at this already. This is a potato. It's already growing. I just stuck the potato in the ground. I think I stuck like 3 in this bed in the corners, because potatoes are actually good companion plants for corn. And even though this bed is pretty small, I figure I can sneak a couple potatoes in. Can't hurt to get some more food in. And already it's growing. I'm gonna just go ahead and cover this up. Potatoes, you can actually grow them in straw. So that's why I figured this would be a good test. What I really don't like about the straw, this is my first time using straw, but what I noticed with the straw, that it grows a lot of weeds. A lot of like seeds are in there, so it grows a lot of weeds. And you can look in this bed, which is another seed I'm starting in March. I actually just rested some potatoes here because I wanted to do a video on seeds I'm starting in March. but this was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and look at this, guys, it's already growing. They're already growing. So this is another seed that I'm starting in March. I didn't plan on leaving them here. I plan on doing the video within a couple days, but you can see they're already sprouting. So I'm gonna mount this up, but you can, all that you see here is that looks like grass. Those are actually seeds from the hay. With potatoes, you always, you don't want the sun to touch them, because once they turn green, it's bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover these up. I'm gonna mount these up with straw. So this is actually a good survival food. I probably add this to my survival video. Very, very easy. I literally just rested the potatoes on the soil. I didn't bury them into the soil. I just rested them on and then sprinkled some hay. So this is a little sidebar. I didn't plan on doing this, but since my potatoes are sprouting, I'm gonna rest these on and I'll come back and remove that hose. But I'm just making sure for now that they're well covered until I come back. All right, so let's go talk about the seeds. All right, so here are the seeds I'm starting for the month of March. And you're gonna notice this month that I'm not just planting food, I'm also planting flowers. Because I'm not just about, I like things to be aesthetically beautiful. Not just about eating food. So I am planting some zinnias this month. And I'm gonna, if these can be direct sown if it's after the danger of frost. But I'm gonna be planting them in these trays, because I think they germinate very well in the trays, and I can put them exactly where I want them. I'm also going to be planting some echinacea, which has a beautiful flower. But as you guys know, I'm sure that most of you know, echinacea is also extremely good for the health. It really builds up the immunity. And with what's going on with COVID and what's going on with the world, we really need to make sure that we're good and strong. And having variety and having our teas, our good healthy teas, is great for us. So I'm going to be planting some echinacea. I'm going to also be planting those in the trays. Then we have a mesclun mix, which is like a salad mix. And it has multiple different salads. It has a rocket, crest garden, endive, radicchio, different lettuces, red salad bowl, red salad bowl. It has a bunch of different salads in here. I'm going to do this. Normally you think salads should be planted more, I would think in February or January. But this says it can be planted January through April. So I'm going to plant these. And it's only 30 days to harvest, and it requires full sun, which I didn't think we could have full sun for salad, but that's what it says. I'm going to try this for the first time. All of these things that I'm growing today, I think every single thing I'm growing for the first time. For those of you who followed me since I started last year, you'll know that I came from a very, very small garden, like 1/7 acre. So a very small garden, so I only could grow a few things at a time. But now that I have my property, I can grow more food. All right, next we have the butternut squash, which I absolutely love butternut squash. For the Caribbean people watching me who know, we know how we Jamaicans like our Jamaican pumpkin. Butternut squash is absolutely delicious also. You can put it in your beef soup. You can make it, it's really, really delicious. So I'm going to grow my butternut squash. What I love about butternut squash or any winter squash is that when you harvest it, once you leave the stem on it, it can be good for like 4 months to 6 months. So you don't have to worry about it. This is also a great survival food. You don't have to worry about having to use it right away. You can harvest it. You can keep it in a cool closet somewhere. And once you leave the stem on it, it can be good for up to 6 months. Next, we have our mammoth sunflowers. This is another first time for me planting sunflowers. I always love to look at sunflowers, but these sunflowers grow up to 12 feet tall. So my plan for these sunflowers, I'm gonna put it along the fence that is right behind my chicken coop. Yes, I did get my chicken coop, doing a video on that soon. But I'm gonna line the fence with these mammoth sunflowers because they will provide shade for the coop to keep the chickens cool. Not only that, when the sunflower seeds drop, that is like a perfect snack for the chickens. So I'm putting them against the fence. I'll be enjoying the sunflowers too, but the chickens will be enjoying those sunflower seeds. And then I am gonna be doing a wildflower mix. This I'm not gonna plant in the trays. This I'm gonna direct sow, I think I'm gonna put some wildflowers in my new island that I just created. If you guys missed it, check out my video. I just posted it within a few days ago about my new tropical island that I created. So I'm gonna be planting some wildflowers directly in the ground. It says low growing mix. So this is a low growing mix of multiple different flowers, and it's only 25 days to bloom. So I'm really looking forward to that. This was probably the most expensive seeds. This is $4.99, but it feels very heavy, so I'm sure it has a ton of seeds in there. And then I'm also gonna be planting some bulbs. So these are bulbs, and this is also a mix. It's called what? Cruscosmia mix in full to partial shade. So this is also going to be going in my island, and I'm also going to be putting some in the front yard. So this is going to be really cool. And then I was going to plant some more marigolds because I was so impressed with how they grew. But I think since I have so many other flowers, what I do want is one more cucumber. So I do have like 3 cucumbers growing, but they are very small. I don't know if I planted them too early. This one says February through June. If you guys have any tips for me on cucumbers, my cucumbers are still very small. So I'm going to plant maybe 2 more seeds just to make sure I have cucumbers, because I do love cucumbers. And then finally, I'm going to plant some Clemson spineless okra. I absolutely love okra. I know I say it a lot, but I love okra. So these are some seeds from my friend Tony. Clemson spineless, they grow very profusely, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant that. And also, these are okra seeds from my mom. I might throw a couple of okra seeds from my mom in there too. All right, so let's see what else we have to plant. So I think I'm gonna try planting some peanuts. So these are all raw, unroasted peanuts. You can't plant peanuts that you normally buy in the store that are roasted. These are unroasted peanuts. I'm gonna plant some. Peanuts are very low ground cover. Some people even use it in food forests instead of grass because it's low, but they have a beautiful yellow flower. So, and this is a great survival food. So I'm gonna be eating my peanuts, and I'm gonna be walking on them too, and enjoying the flowers. I'm also gonna be planting some ginger. So ginger is another very easy plant to plant. You can grow it in a pot. If you guys check on my previous videos, you'll see where I grew ginger in a pot. I'm probably gonna grow some in a pot, and I'm gonna grow some directly in the ground, but probably mainly in a pot. These gingers have been sitting on this table for probably like a month and a half for me to grow. This one look like it's almost totally dried up, but you can see it still has a green shoot. It didn't have this shoot when I bought them outside, but they've been sitting here this long waiting for me. You can see it really wants to grow. You see all those little offshoots? It really wants to grow. So I'm gonna plant these two. And then this is a ginger that I had in the fridge that I bought just a few days ago. But you can see the signs of roots here. And this, when you have a ginger this size, break it up into several pieces. So this is one. This will be one. You see, that's a shoot right here. This, you can break this into 2. Don't break it too small, because if it's too small, then it's not gonna grow. So these 2 are gonna grow. This one here, I'm gonna plant this, and then this one here, I probably cut this in 2. Whenever you break up anything like a potato, or if you break up ginger or turmeric, whenever you have a fresh break like this, don't put it directly in the ground. Wait for it to scab over. So I'm gonna wait like 2 days, and then I'm gonna plant these in pots, and maybe some in the ground. So these are my ginger. What I love about ginger that is absolutely beautiful is when it's growing, I love how the foliage looks. Same for turmeric. I have a whole bunch of turmeric. These turmeric are actually from my previous garden. I had a ton of turmeric growing in a very small pot. The pot was maybe 10 inches wide, and I harvested a ton of turmeric, and I saved some, and you can see that wants to grow. You see all those little bumps? This is where the turmeric is gonna grow. So I have several pieces of turmeric. These are all from my previous garden that I'm gonna use. I love to have my turmeric in dishes, but I really use it like a lot. It's almost every day. I love to have the turmeric and the ginger in my morning shakes. This is like my daily vitamins. Then I'm gonna plant some garlic. Garlic doesn't really form a head well in Florida, but garlic has some beautiful chives, that delicious chives. They're very similar to like how you buy green onions. So I'm gonna plant some garlic. I actually already have a lot of garlic chives in my garden because once you plant the garlic chives, even if you don't water it, it grows and it grows very thickly. I have them in some pots. So I may or may not. I may just use this garlic and not plant it because I do have a lot of garlic chives. But I guess it can't hurt. I might put some in a pot to let it grow. Then moving on to my beautiful sweet potatoes. Let me tell you, let me tell you, let me tell you. This is one of the most exciting tubers or whatever you want to call it for me to grow. Sweet potatoes are one of the most wonderful foods. Look at this. I just bought a sweet potato maybe a week ago and look at it. It wants to grow. I tell you guys, the food wants to grow. For so many of you, you think that, hey, I don't know anything about growing food. I didn't know anything about growing food maybe up to 5 years ago. But once you start planting, the food wants to grow. So I'm gonna show you how I plant my sweet potatoes. Let me just tell you, it's really easy. So I don't do the toothpick in the water thing anymore. In the very beginning, I did that. But these sweet potatoes, this one here is a purple flesh sweet potato. The inside of the sweet potato is a bright purple. Let me show you. Look at that. Look at that beautiful color. The inside of the sweet potato is purple. If I just, this is growing without me even doing anything, right? I just bought it at the supermarket and it's growing. If I rest this on dirt, rest this in the soil and cover it halfway, this is gonna sprout in no time. Then I can take the slips and I can plant them all throughout the garden and I can have tons of sweet potato. Check out my earlier videos on sweet potatoes. You'll see how much sweet potato I harvested when all I did was put one sweet potato in the soil. It sprouted, sprouts. Then I planted the sweet potatoes all around. Also, check out when I made my Jamaican sweet potato pudding, but using these purple sweet potatoes. Oh my gosh, that thing was wicked. That thing was so good. You guys gotta check that out. All right, so I have purple sweet potatoes that I'm planting. This one is, oh, look at this. Another one growing. So I have my purple sweet potatoes I'm going to plant, and I'm going to plant them all throughout the garden. I'm going to plant them whole like this. I'm going to put them throughout the garden. I'll probably rest them on the soil and just lightly cover it or just leave the top out. And then once they sprout, then I'll bury them deeper. So I'm going to plant these throughout, probably around the fences or around the corners of the lot, because sweet potatoes, they have a ton of vines and the vines run everywhere. So I'm going to plant them where we're not stepping on them and tripping over them. Also, I'm going to plant, this is more like the Jamaican style sweet potato. This is the one that's white on the inside. That's, see? It looks like the same color, but this one is white on the inside. This is kind of sweet potato that Jamaicans love. So this is a white sweet potato, even though I absolutely love this one too. I'm going to plant that one. This one could actually be cut into 2 pieces and scabbed over. So I may do that for this one. And then I'm going to plant some good old American sweet potatoes. And these are the ones that are yams. These are the ones that are orange flesh on the inside. And these have been sitting here for weeks. So they're a bit shriveled, but these are fine. I'm going to plant. You can see this one is trying to sprout. So they've been sitting on this table for weeks. And I guess just the moisture of everything, you know, they're trying to sprout. So these are ready. Putting these in the ground. And then this one is, what is this one? This one is another, this is a Japanese sweet potato. So this is a Jamaican kind and this is a Japanese sweet potato. So I have multiple different kinds of sweet potatoes. I'm gonna be eating great. Let me tell you, just one sweet potato can give you dozens of slips, right? And just one slip can give you 3 to 5 pounds of sweet potato. So right here, you might say, Patrice, you're wasting all these sweet potatoes. No, I'm not. This might be maybe 4 or 5 pounds of sweet potatoes. From these 4 or 5 pounds of sweet potatoes, I'm gonna have over 100 pounds. 100 pounds of sweet potatoes. So it's absolutely worth spending the money, putting them in. This is adding a ton of variety. This is adding a ton of food. One of the best parts of sweet potato are the vines or the leaves. The leaves are more nutritious than even spinach. So this is a double whammy. You get the nutrition of eating the greens. I eat those leaves in my shakes. I stir fry them as vegetables for side dishes. I scramble them with eggs. The vines are delicious. So while these sweet potatoes are forming on the ground, which may take maybe 6 months for them to form, you're eating those vines every day. So you have food right away. You're gonna see within weeks of me planting these, I'm gonna have vines that I'm gonna be eating. So that's a must. I think I went over the turmeric that I'm gonna plant. This also has a beautiful bush. It looks, what family is it in? I can't remember the family that it's in, but turmerics have a beautiful bush. And when they're, right before they're ready to harvest, or ready to be harvested, they have a beautiful flower. So you get the bush, which I think is beautiful. I'm gonna probably plant these in pots because I enjoy looking at the bush and I enjoy that. And then finally, oh, I have some sweet pumpkin here. Oh, guys, if any of you guys have any Seminole pumpkin seeds that you want to share with Backyard Farmer Pat, please let me know. I really want to have a Seminole pumpkin vine. I do have a couple Japanese pumpkins that I planted. I stuck a couple seeds in the ground and they grew, but I really want my Seminole pumpkin because those do very well in Florida. Then finally, another survival food, big time, Moringa seeds. Moringa, as I mentioned, is one of the healthiest, is not one of them. It's the healthiest, most nutritious plant on earth. This is what the seeds look like. As a matter of fact, you guys check out my video I did last year on Moringa seeds, the benefits of Moringa. I really went into the details, and on that video, I opened a seed and I ate it. Okay, Mr. Bolt. All right, boy. Yeah, so this is what it looked like on the inside, and on that video, I did a demo because I heard about the seeds, and when you taste the seed, at first it tastes like a peanut. Wait for it. It tastes like a oh my gosh. Oh, so at first it tastes like a peanut, and then it's super sweet. It's almost like NutraSweet or saccharin or something if I ate that. But super sweet. So that's really interesting. But that's not what we're doing here. It is the most nutritious food on earth. It's eaten throughout Africa. Watch my video on all the benefits. They even use the plant and the seeds to purify water. Check that video out. So what I did last week, or a week ago, I put some seeds to soak because I knew I wanted to do the video today. I wanted to plant them out. So let's see if they started growing. And yes, we have a sprouter here. So I'm going to plant these out. Ooh, this one is growing. This one attached itself to the paper towel. So we have our Moringa seeds. They all, oh wow, they all germinated. This is wonderful. So I'm going to have my Moringa seed, my Moringa tree stored at the garden. It's extremely fast growing. It grows from seed, or you can just break a branch, stick it in the ground, and you have Moringa. So I'm going to have that. So guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. So please make sure you click the notifier bell so you can see the notification bell so you can see what I am planting next. Also, now is a good time to join me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram because I'm beginning to post almost daily videos and clips and pictures from what I'm doing in the garden. So until next time, let's go out today. Let's plant a seed. Let's grow and eat together. And don't forget to share this video, and don't forget to share what you're growing. Bye now.